Hey everybody, Captain Foley here, and
Commander Coggins, as every single time, every single episode, every single week, pretty much.
that's right. And we are back with another top 10,
Yes.
which are always fun because, like I always say, we never know what the other person's going to pick until we film it, and it always makes for an interesting Trekyards conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, Samuel, what's on the agenda for today?
Top 10 Federation captains, and this is not the captains of the main series. This is not Kirk or Picard or Janeway. This is the other captains. So it could be anyone. I'm very interested to
Interesting.
see what you pick. Very interested.
This is a broad field, this one. Let's get right to it.
Okay.
My number five would be Rudy Ransom. Creepy guy when you first meet him, but you kind of understand his motivation and you can understand the situation he was in with the ship he was in,
Mm-hmm.
that he needed to kind of do that perhaps. So
Yeah.
he went a little off the deep end as far as being a Federation cap or a
Yeah.
Starfleet captain goes, but I can honestly say that I don't really blame him. And I think if we had seen him in his prime, not in the Delta Quadrant, he would have been an awesome captain.
It's like saying how difficult it is to keep a hold of your Federation ethics when you're stranded away from away from your quadrant in a
Yeah.
survey ship. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, number four,
Okay.
Captain Garth. Now I know I know he went crazy,
Okay.
but he was a hero, and one of Kirk's idols, learned all about his, whatever in the academy. So, and we're looking forward to seeing what he does in Axanar.
But I did not pick him because I'm only taking it as canon. So his one appearance in the TOS, I can't take Axanar as.
No, but it was mentioned that he
No,
was
I
a
understand, but I
hero of
didn't.
whatever battle,
For
and
me, I
Kirk
didn't
looked
think
up
the
to him.
performance in the thing was as like he didn't come across as the best. Yeah, he was a criminal, like. But okay, no, sure.
He came up as legendary,
I
and Kirk looked up to him, so
I'll give
that's
you
why I
that. But I
chose
didn't
him.
pick Garth Vizar specifically because. But okay, cool.
Fair
Nice to
enough.
see him on the list, though. Nice to see him on the list.
Number three, Captain Pike, both original Captain Pike and JJ. The JJ Captain Pike kicks ass. He's
Yeah.
awesome. I love him. I wish I could have seen more of him,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the captain role. Definitely
Mm.
one of my favorites.
Mm.
And the original Captain Pike, same thing. I would have loved to see more of Jeffrey Hunter in that role, but it just wasn't in the cards, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we know Captain Pike had quite an interesting career. So,
Yeah.
number two, Captain Sulu. Because who doesn't love Captain Sulu? I mean, really, you got the Excelsior. He's just awesome, and he's in an episode of Voyager as Captain Sulu. So you get to see him as captain a fair bit more than some of these other people. So,
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
and number one
Number one.
would of course be myself. I'm non-canon, and I'm Captain Foley. I'm just kidding.
Oh Jesus.
Uh, number one would have to be Captain Spock. Um, he did have the Enterprise for Star Trek 2,
He had it for I
and
think like 7 or 8 years as part of a
yep,
training plan. So he had a long reign of Enterprise.
yeah, exactly. And we all know how cool Spock is, so I can imagine how he'd be as a captain.
And
Plus the fact that
he didn't get demoted at any point in the movies. He was still a captain the whole way.
plus the fact that he sidestepped his responsibility a little bit and let Kirk take the ship without that affecting his command, even though Kirk said no. But that Kirk knew that Spock would say no, go ahead. So
Yeah.
Kirk saying that kind of put that off. So there you go. There's my top five.
And I certainly approve of your four TOS in a row. Top four all TOS. Nice one. Okay, my number five is Captain Harriman of the Enterprise B. Okay, this one might be controversial, and I'll give him my number five as my number five favourite captain. He's the young captain of the Enterprise B. While yes, Kirk Darden's watch, I don't think that was his fault. It was Starfleet's fault for sending a completely under-equipped ship to face a completely unknown situation. Wasn't ready.
He would have been on my list on a Tuesday, but it's not Tuesday, so he's not on my list.
It's actually not
Had
Tuesday,
to.
no.
Had to.
But the fact that a captain so young and the fact that he got command of the legendary Enterprise, that shows Starfleet must have had faith in him. Just doesn't matter what happened that day. That's a serious amount of he's a good captain. Perhaps he was starstruck, perhaps he was unfamiliar with the ship. Think about what Kirk did in Star Trek Motion Picture. He almost destroyed the Enterprise in that wormhole because he didn't know what the ship was capable of. You can make some mistakes if you don't know your ship. But I enjoyed his performance, and when Alan Ruck came back from Gods and Men, we really got to see John Harriman in action. I love the characterization, both as Prime him and Evil him, and they gave me a lot of respect for him, especially that I've actually got to meet him and interview him in depth. I have a serious spot for John Harriman, and so he gets my number five.
Awesome.
It's not his fault he killed Kirk, just saying. My number 4 is Captain Forrester from Enterprise. Evil Enterprise Captain Forrester.
Hmm.
Yep, seen in Into a Mirror Darkly. While our Prime Universe Forrester was an admiral, this guy was a captain, and boy was he a strong leader who clearly cared deeply for his empire, and he wasn't hell bent on just murder and chaos. For an evil universe, personally, a lot of honor, and in fact, sacrificed himself to save the ship. Something I don't think many of the Mirror Universe captains actually do. So for that, and how Von Armstrong betrayed him, he gets my number 4 slot. Good captain. Captain 3? No, number 3, Captain Jellico from TNG. A badass, no nonsense captain, but he got some serious results. Even if the Enterprise crew wasn't used to his way of doing things, he was not a bad guy, just tough. And yeah, he's shown to be really competent, and at the end, we do feel better towards him. So yeah, and it's always good to see a quality Starfleet captain. And his time aboard the Enterprise was memorable. I think any ship he gets to command, he's going to do well on.
True. I considered him for my list, but he's a little too hard ass for me, and I didn't like him just
He
because
was
of the whole
new to the legend.
atmosphere of that show, that those
He was
episodes.
new to the flagship. I mean, it's some, come on, Picard's a serious shoes to fill. Give him 6 months. I mean, come on, Picard was a bit of a hard ass his first time
I know,
as
but
captain. Picard was not worse, but he was certainly not fun. Give him a year, Jericho would be great. My number 2 was Rachel Garrett of the Enterprise C. While only seen once, this Captain Enterprise showed a great deal of courage and leadership. It was a small role, but you really got a sense of why she was given the command of such an iconic ship. It's a shame her appearance was so brief and in fact died in the episode, but we know from other sources that she was a successful captain and I think did the name Enterprise proud. That's my number 2.
absolutely.
So my
Yeah.
number 1 is Captain Sulu. He is a legend. He has so much charisma and charm. His appearance as Captain Sulu on the Excelsior in Star Trek 6 was rather special, and his subsequent appearance in Voyager flashbacks was awesome to see. Added so much more depth to his captaincy and showed him as definitely the best non-main captain. And his turn as Captain Sulu in the video game Shattered Universe was excellent. Trapped in Mirror Universe, and he still is an utter professional and captain to be admired. I think we all missed out on a Captain Sulu series on board the Excelsior. It would have been something truly special. So thank you, George Takei, for an amazing performance and for getting promoted because you show us such a cool captain.
Mhm.
Yeah, that is my top 5.
Interesting.
Yeah. But what is your honourable mention, Stuart?
Honorable mention for me, I was going to say Commander or whatever he was, Wesley from the Ultimate Computer, but he's not a captain; he's a Commodore, I believe. So I couldn't say Wesley.
No, you can't.
So I'm going to have to say Captain Terrell from Star Trek 2. I would have loved to see more of him personally,
Dear.
but the fact that at the end he refused Khan and turned the phaser on himself
Yeah.
to kind of
Yeah.
prevent him from doing anything that he would regret, I think was, like you said, it's an honorable Starfleet captain thing to do. And at the end, the Starfleet training always seems to override anything else in the end. So now there's also Stiles and Esteban, which are awesome, but I can't say those because they're not.
But good honorable mention. I think you could tell he was a good captain, a nice guy. So pity he faced Khan. He was not ready for Khan. So my honorable mention is Captain Ransom. He was a captain that survived what most captains really wouldn't have been able to. He's resilient with such a small survey vessel. Wow. And yes, he went to the dark side, but he kept his crew together. And given how much he was known for, before the whole killing alien forms for life, energy, fuel, he was very much a captain to be respected. So I think you got to give him that. Like I said, in his prime, he would have been amazing. So
Yeah.
my honorable mention. So yeah,
So your honorable mention is my number 5. That's interesting.
interesting
Start
lists there. You picked completely 2S pretty much. That's funny.
Well, it's just the way they struck me. That's all.
What do you think?
Even
about
the
it?
movie ones I considered, like Stiles and Esteban, they were all Wesley, Terrell. My God, I never even realized.
Yeah, well, this is one of those fun ones where you want to pick the more obscure ones. So I went through the entire list of Star Trek captains of Memory Alpha.
So did I.
Yeah, and worked out who I really liked. Yeah, I like your list. I think Garth will be probably one of the sort of side canon when we get the Axanar, and again Pike might be with the Pike film might really up in my list. But what do you think of my list of Ransom, Harriman, Forrester, Jellico, Garrett, and Sulu?
Awesome. I considered Forrester, but he was an admiral in the prime time. I didn't really think about the Mirror Universe, but that was interesting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the top 5 actual heroes captains. But
And will you give me Harriman? Do you forgive Harriman? Because I have a
I
serious soft
understand.
spot.
I understand your love for the Harriman, but like I said, it wasn't Tuesday, so I didn't have a pencil ready to write his name down. It'll be there on Tuesday.
But everyone watch of Gods and Men because he's fantastic in that.
Yes.
Really good. Yeah, awesome. Well, that was our top 10 other ship captains. I love that we managed to get a Spock and a Sulu in there because even though they're so close to the top stars, I love we can still use them. So that was a fun one. No idea what you're going to pick. Hope I surprised you with mine. And
absolutely.
let us know who you think are the top 10 captains. Because there are quite a lot of captains out there. And if you like the Captain Kane, if you love him the best, or the Riding Crop, was it?
Yeah.
Let us know if he's number one.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you like Captain Foley the best, please let us know because I would have been my number one if I could have, but Samuel told me no. So.
Well, non-canon captains, yeah. Anyway, that is it for another top 10. Tune in next week for we have no idea what, but it's going to be amazing. So until then, this is Commander Cockings
and Captain Foley.
See you next time, guys.
Bye, everybody.